Your character in this series is as complex as Subaru. And
No.
keep in
Absolutely.
That's just a falsity. You can't. How can you even say that?
Yeah. No. I cannot say much. I can't say a paragraph about Amelia outside of if I take out she is nice and she is kind and all attributes attributed to that, not a paragraph. Beatrice, same thing. These are not good characters.
I just spent like 10 minutes talking about him. And even the minor side characters who don't have much substance behind them still feel like they have lives that continue off screen. They also...
Based on what? That cat dude where it's just like, okay, well, my sibling is also an army person and they are the commander. And what's the life after? Because, okay, you're basically going... These people were characters before they met Subaru. Yes. Mm-hmm. That's almost every anime. Every anime will have characters. I do not know who you are. I don't know your history, but it feels like you're a person. Fire Force to me is a very whatever series. It's fine.
Not making any fans on this episode.
There's the Flower Chick. The Flower Chick has a whole history. And she has a whole thing going on while the main force is doing the stuff they do. But I'm not going, it feels like she has a life and blah, 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 blah. No. When she's on screen, do I like her? Yes. When she's off screen, am I wondering where she is and when I'm going to see her again? Yes, because I really like that character. That's all it is. I like these characters. I want to know where they are and what they're doing. When in Straw Hat split, I was getting stuff I really liked, but I still wanted to know what was happening with Usopp, because I like Usopp. I like these characters, so let me know what's going on with them. Oh, I've been doing this, and this. Okay, cool. That doesn't mean, they feel like they have lives outside of the... I don't give a about that. That shopkeeper has a wife and a kid. You can say that for 80% of the characters out there. What you want?
Ram, what is she outside of a maid? What is her deal? And that was my biggest thing. I like her a lot more than I like Rim, but we just get Rim shoved in our face. And she nice. She's obedient. What else are we doing here?
And strong.
All have great designs to match. Memorable, distinct silhouettes and color palettes across the board with styles of dress that create a general impression of each personality at a glance and smaller accessories and details.
Okay. My brother next to me, DA. What was the design of the short shopkeeper?
He had a scar on his face. He was darker skinned.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Boy, I don't remember hair color.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't remember his outfit.
Exactly.
But he's just going, they're good. He's not giving any examples. He's just going, I could talk about all these characters as much as I could talk about Subaru, but I'm not gonna. They just have good designs. I've always loved Beatrice.
Yeah, Beatrice is awesome.
Smaller accessories and details that speak to the character's personal relationships.
I gotta look up that shopkeeper.
It's no wonder that ReZero has generated so many figures and works of fan art, even if the distribution of both is a little bit skewed toward one character.
No, the reason they have so much fan art is because it is a cutesy show that was super duper popular. Now, it has all these darker moments and such and all these things to think about, but it's because it's a very cute series. And it was super popular, just like Madoka. Just like all these other things that get super duper popular for a while, that get a lot of ink fan art.
Oh, look at him. He got like a vest and a hat. He's got a beard as well.
He's got like a vest and a hat.
But yeah, just going something has a lot of figures and a lot of fan art, that means nothing to me.
It's a popular thing.
Popular.
Of course it's gonna
get a whole bunch of stuff. Popular and fan art stuff does not equal good. It's ridiculous. One of my favorite things in this world is a show called Scat Dance. I'm not going to recommend it to you because I don't think that you would like it. Maybe if I did, I would be like, get up into the tournament arc, and if you don't like the tournament arc, we're done here. We're stopping this show.
We should exchange Scat Dance for Medaka Box.
I don't wanna.
They're both slice of life. We're taking care of your problems thing until a certain point with Medaka Box,
and that's not with Scat Dance. But yeah, Scat Dance won like the Young Artist Award, blah blah blah, something like that. It was moderately, relatively popular. Got an anime, 64 episodes, not even like a 24 episode short thing. The author, the drawer, I almost said the drawer. The mangaka, he went off to make a whole nother manga that got an anime that was really good. He went on to draw for Stan Lee, a manga in Japan. Scat Dance has almost nothing. Nobody's talking about Scat Dance, but it was quite popular. But that does not equal sign fan art and figures and stuff. I wish it did because it's so good.
Character in particular. Now, as for those characters' personalities, Emilia is, as I said, the very embodiment of pure-hearted heroism.
Okay, got it.
But she's also intelligent and tries to be pragmatic, so she often ends up performing.
Yeah, like in Princess or trying to be a queen of a land.
Yeah, she's smart. Okay, that's not a personality trait. Pragmatic. Yeah, I'll dig that.
Performing mental gymnastics to logically justify the good things she does on gut instinct. Puck is both adorable.
Oh, we're done.
Yeah. You just explained all of Emilia. Where's all this? I can spend 10 minutes on them too.
No, she's nice. Smart is not a personality trait. We're not counting that because you didn't say that Subaru is stupid. And she's pragmatic. Absolutely. We've got 2 sentences about her because that's literally all she is, other than forgiving for some reason on that last episode. I'd have been like, kick rocks, homie. Get that crap out of my face. For you, it may have been in 50 death loops, but for me, it was yesterday.
Is both adorable and wise enough to know he's adorable, a combination that has resulted in, essentially, a magical talking cat fuckboy,
Pause.
a puck boy.
Adorable is not a personality trait, unless it's sort of like, I act adorable, which he does not. He is. And he's smart enough to know that he's adorable. Cunning, I'll give him
That
cunning.
sounds like Boa Hancock.
That's more arrogant, though.
Yeah, but she does all her cutesy stuff because she knows she's so and then
good.
she's just like, no, I'm a piece of who
good.
put this puppy and this baby seal in my way? Get them out of here. Oh my God, Boa, you're so amazing.
If she doesn't grow up
No.
well, if she doesn't age well, her devil fruit is going to be useless when she's like 60.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be off.
It's going to be nothing. It's just going to be the inability to swim.
If you will, with more swagger than people 100 times his size. He's also an empath, which means that he can
More swagger. You're not displaying anything that shows me that. Chopper has a lot of swagger. And that's my argument. That's my character trait for Chopper. I'm not showing any sort of you showed him roaring. That was it. That's not an example.
communicate with Emilia psychically and tell who she can trust at a glance.
Pause.
The pair
That's not a personality trait. That's something that he can do. Chopper
an
can
ability.
transform.
clearly have a deep and intimate symbiotic relationship beyond anything Subaru could possibly understand, as evidenced by how willing Puck is to murder anyone who's not Emilia when she dies, and together they make a nigh unbeatable team. Felt and Rom likewise share a symbiotic relationship. The younger girl, despite her pluck and talent, never could have made it in the slums if the old merchant hadn't taken her under his wing. Felt is still a kid, trying very hard to be the adult she knows she needs to be.
Do you understand what symbiotic relationship means?
They get something from this person, and that person gets something from that person, and
Wouldn't that technically just be a relationship?
I guess, but it sounds a lot snazzier saying symbiotic relationship. But isn't that couldn't you say that's Subaru? With the head of the mansion, Subaru's getting a place to live, and the head of the mansion's getting a whole new worker. But they have like 2 scenes together.
She needs to be to survive, while still clinging to optimistic dreams of getting rich and paying Rom back one day. The old man, for his part, has clearly seen some shit in his day. He's got history with the Estrella family, just for starters, and he's doing his best to protect that optimistic smile from the harsh realities of the world. Elsa, who comes in to tear both
Personality, you've just described actions within the story that occurred. That's it. We see that it happened. Tell me about the old man. You didn't. I can see that. You can speak about him for 10 minutes as you did with Subaru. I don't see that.
found families apart, is clearly more than a little unhinged and takes legitimate pleasure in fighting and killing. She's more of a predatory animal than a human being, able to smell fear and always looking for her next opportunity to strike. But, like many real predators, there's an element of playfulness to her hunting. She enjoys a...
You hear how he's giving all of these descriptors as opposed to here are her actions? Here are her actions that feed into her personality, as opposed to here are just her actions. I really liked her.
Yeah.
She pieces out, and I'm just like, ooh, can't wait for her to come back. Series finale villain? What are we doing here? Nothing. See you season 2, or in the books, or whatever.
Good fight, and getting carried away with that proves to be her undoing. For all her bluster, she doesn't even stand a chance against Reinhard. Dashing, kind, selfless, and extremely capable, he's every bit the hero Subaru isn't. A
Thank
real
you for
champion
giving me
of the people type
descriptors.
who carries his sword around while off duty, specifically so that he can do heroic shit that's outside his jurisdiction as a royal guard. He is a capital G good dude, but still believably flawed, driven by the very real insecurities that naturally come with having to uphold a family legacy that includes this guy. That guy, Wilhelm, is a complex enough...
What? His flaw is that he has insecurities based on his father, so he doesn't think he's as good as his family.
But he is. He's amazing.
I mean, but is that literally it?
I'm guessing.
That's the flaw? I don't think I'm as good as the person above me, so I just gotta keep getting better.
What's Amelia's flaw? If we're talking about flaws, what's Puck's flaw? That he just kills everybody that's not Amelia? Why?
What's Ram's flaw? Ram's.
She's really bad. I like Ram. They clearly, like, when they come in, just go, yeah, Ram, she, like, sweeps and cleans and everything, but then Ram has to go over it.
Yeah, okay, yeah. She sucks at housework. That's not a character flaw.
That's not a character flaw, is it?
No. That's more of a quirk.
Yep, it sure is.
So what's hers?
I bet.
character to carry his own 3-volume spin-off series, which is really good and you should read it. His victory over the White Whale is so well earned, and that depth is apparent from his very first appearance, where his reactions imply that he recognizes a bit of his younger, more adventurous self in Subaru. He immediately understands, specifically, the hurdles that a young, dumb dude like that, with a big, pure-hearted crush on an incredible lady way out of his league and social standing, is gonna face. And because of that, he decides...
So that's exactly Subaru, except for Homeboy worked hard to get where he is. He trained in the sword, whereas Subaru was just like, I'll just sort of bumble my way into success. That's the big difference.
Give Subaru some kindly grandpa wisdom, instead of giving him the cold shoulder that Felix is apparently used to. And really take that in. Felix is one of the most adorable and endearing creatures in existence. He's a gorgeous, bishy cat boy with the campy, flirty mannerisms of Bugs Bunny, impossible to hate. And Wilhelm can stonewall him, so it really says something that he's friendly with Subaru from the outset.
You just... campy, fun, flirty. Okay, what else? You need more than 3 words to describe a character and make them good. You can like them all up and down the street, But don't tell me that this character is good because they're campy, fun, and flirty. What are their flaws, hopes, dreams? What do they do when they're not working? Tell me something about that. Tell me something that feeds into that. But you're not. You're just going, here's this 15 seconds about this character, and then we're moving on.
A lot of ReZero's most interesting male characters do also serve as foils to Subaru in one way or another, including its most brain-trembling villain. Beetlejuice Romany Conti represents the logical
To this day, I did not know his name.
They said his name a couple times.
I don't care. I didn't know it.
Already?
Subaru's otaku obsession and entitlement, a creepy, gross, overzealous nerd who hangs out with a bunch of anonymous genocidal goons in a hugbox cult dedicated to the top waifu in their favorite book. He leads a life of unrepentant cruelty, completely divorced from the consequences of his actions because he believes that the blessing of his witch waifu makes him inherently superior to the unloved subhumans that populate the rest of the world. Betelgeuse is driven by a possessive, twisted, one-sided love to do literally anything for the Witch of Envy, just with no regard for what she actually wants. Kinda like how someone else we know ends up treating his favorite silver-haired half-elf girl with magic powers, which makes it incredibly fitting that before our heroes can truly finish Betelgeuse off, Subaru first has to find a way to rip the entitled little creep out of his own mind, which he does with a cold blast of reality, specifically by proving definitively that his waifu will never love him back. Now, on that note, Satella...
But Subaru doesn't learn that because at the end, he just goes, I love you. And she goes, well, I don't necessarily love you. And you're like, oh, but you will. I'll wait. It's happening. So this whole comparison falls flat at the end. The most important bit. You got his whole obsessive thing, but we see he's a part of a cult that is obsessing over a provably very powerful witch. We see how he got there. How did Subaru become an otaku? Why is he like that? We don't know.
What's funny is I just had this conversation with a friend of mine, and she was like, we were both bored, so we were just asking each other questions back and forth. And one of her questions was, or no, I think it was my question. No, it was hers. Could you be with someone that does everything you want? Like, they treat you the way you want, they do the things you want, blah, 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 and you're really in love with them, and they love you, but they're not in love with you. Could you be with them? And my answer was no, because it feels like I'm just stealing away the potential for them to be truly happy with somebody they actually are in love with. So what Subaru is essentially doing is, Amelia may love me, but she's not in love with me, but I'm going to stick around until she becomes in love with me.
That's going back to episode 1, where he's just like, I'm going to do anything I can for this girl. He's not changed much.
There's a fascinating character. All we ever see of her in the first season of the show is her hand reaching out to either pull Subaru back from the cold embrace of death or to hold his heart in her own cruel embrace, should he ever think of sharing what they have together with another. A few lines of expository dialogue and a handful of animations are all it takes to... Actually, I probably shouldn't get into characters who don't even appear on screen in Season 1, because I'm not even halfway through talking about all of the ones with identifiable faces and names.
Pause.
Even
The witch is such a problem. It's dumb. I hate it. Why can he not say just that? Why can he get up to the point where he says, I can reset to 0 and nothing happens? But as soon as he says, I can then the heart gets grabbed. Why at a certain point did Amelia die instead of him? So she can just do that? What are we doing here? Can
he write it down?
What? Can he play charades? Can somebody? What happens if somebody just guesses? It's such a problem that the show just goes whatever about.
Season 1.
Season 1. When it's such a huge plot point and it needs to be explained further, and it's just not.
Muggers who ambush Subaru in the back alley have consistent, discernible personalities that reflect and sometimes contrast with their appearances. Both the little guy and the big dude, Khan and Tone, put on scary faces, but they're not super down with hurting or killing people, while the skinny dude with the knives, Chin, is clearly a bit more reckless and ends up dragging them into trouble. I could literally sit here all day analyzing the psychology of these characters, and
No, you couldn't.
No, that's it. That's it. Why are those two less likely to attack people as opposed to the skinny dude? Why? Well, we don't know, but we can make guesses. But that's all they're ever going to be, guesses. So it's not. We can't analyze it. We can guess. We can theorize, and that's it. If there's nothing to this, they're pieces of crap. But only one of them is enough of a piece of crap that they want to kill somebody.
I will for at least one of them if you Philistines keep insisting that Rem is best girl, but I guess before I stop, I should at least talk about her and the rest of the show's most important supporting characters. The first time I watched ReZero, I found the mansion arc to be the toughest part to get through. It's the most time...
Mansion arc was the hype.
I enjoyed
That's
it
my
a lot.
favorite arc. I love it because the whole just like mystery of how are they dying, and then at a certain point he just dies and wakes up and like, wait a second, I was just sleeping, and then
I reset it. Yeah, what
Yeah,
happened? That
no.
means I died in my sleep. So is it like a poison thing or somebody attacked? And then Rem comes up and you think it's her, and it's just like, no, you're suspicious. That's why I attacked you that time. So what's going on? So it's not her. So what's going on? It was all interesting stuff.
I really like that arc.
It's because I'm a person, this guy over here likes characters, but I'm a person that cares more about plot and the story. And the plot was very interesting there. The story was super duper interesting there. The characters themselves, not so much. There's not a lot they do or grow from or you learn about. Like you learn about Beatrice, you learn about Rem and Ram, and then after that, they're just who they are. So if you're just looking for a bunch of character stuff, you're not going to get a lot of it in the mansion arc. But you get a very interesting mystery in that arc, and I really liked it.
that Subaru spends in one place, and as a result, it kind of feels like he's spinning his wheels there after a while, which...
He spins his wheels everywhere.
Yeah, it's all over the place. What is he's just really just sitting there waiting for a problem to happen.
frustrating when you just want the plot to go, but by keeping the story at a standstill,
No, I see. This is the thing. People want too much. They can't just sit there and enjoy a thing that's happening on the screen right now. This is why people hate the My Hero Academia arc, the Gentle arc. They hate it because it's one of the few arcs that do nothing overall for the plot. There's no League of Villains. There's no big happenings like somebody's losing something or there's no new characters introduced that play a major role anywhere. It's just a good arc in the middle of something, a good mini arc. And I love that arc. I love Gentle and I love La Brava.
Because you get a whole lot of character stuff. You learn about these characters. If they were just thrust into a situation without knowing about it, we don't know how they would act in that certain situation. But you see Beatrice slowly start warming up to Subaru, and then to the point where she's protecting him. And if that just happened episode 1, not episode 1, the first time that he comes to the match, you'd be like, wait, who is this character? Why is he protecting her? But you see that whole transformation, and you need that for something like this. And you already said that it is built upon the characters. So if people are already just like, I want action and stuff, and it's all this character stuff, but it's not for them.
the show does give us a lot of time to get to know the mansion's inhabitants, and they're all
Not enough.
so great. Ram, for example, is super underrated, and I understand why. Rem gets way more screen time, and the gap between her initial cold demeanor toward Subaru and the blushing sweetheart she becomes when her guard is down is so fucking moe I could die. But then,
that's
so
all
is
it
the way
is.
that Ram is actually super helpful all the time and
Yep.
tries to lift everyone's spirits by leveraging her natural resting bitch face for A-grade insult comedy. Her backsass game is consistently incredible, and the way that her Barusu nickname seamlessly transforms from an expression of disrespect to one of endearment as he proves himself to her is... I wrote Chef's Kiss in the script, and now that I'm here, I'm realizing that's not going to come across super well in a video that's all voiceover, but you get the point. Rom, being clairvoyant and therefore responsible for overseeing Roswaal's entire domain, is very concerned with the well-being of everyone close to her all the time, especially her sister, who she recognizes is trying way too hard to fill her shoes, even though she can't really do anything about that. She's also...
It's funny how much explanation you're giving for this character because you can, as opposed to the ones you gave 2 sentences to, but you say you could talk all day about.
Acutely aware of all the ways that she can be a burden on the much stronger people around her, which is probably why she's slow to take a shine to the weak and oblivious Subaru, definitely why she's so loyal to Roswaal, and also probably why she's so prone to falling back on humor. Rem does her best to keep up with the comedy routines. I'd wager their telepathic link really helps with the timing, and she's got fantastic deadpan delivery regardless, but beneath the surface, she's a lot less confident than her sister, which you already definitely know if you've watched the show. Rem is the only character in the first season to be the subject of several proper character study episodes, mostly so it hurts more when this happens. It hurts! It hurts! It hurts! And also when... Okay, never mind. At any rate, I don't think I really need to tell you how well-rounded and good Rem's character is. She's a fan favorite for a reason, and I'd much rather spend...
She's loyal, and she will love you no matter how big of a piece of crap you are, no matter all your flaws. She will love you no matter what. Clap, clap. That's why she is very popular. Because she is obedient waifu no matter what. That's why Amelia isn't super waifu, because she is as nice as Rem, but she's just like, nah, get that crap out of here. Maybe one day, but not right now.
The time extolling the virtues of Roswaal and Betty, who are deeply underappreciated. Beatrice is adorable. Then, as soon as you get to know her, she's not, but then she is again, because she's got layers. The first of those layers is her appearance, which, much like that of Puck, is too cute for words. It immediately clashes with the second layer, her personality, which is...
Her design is too good for this show.
Was that your entire statement?
Yes. Because I remember seeing a picture of her and just going, oh, who is this main character? I want to follow the... And it's just a side character. I'm like, oh, man. Because she's got such a good... It's one of those designs that I love that it's just way too busy. It's just like one step too far. And that's what makes it great.
Brash, abrasive, and arrogant. She does everything she can
to probably the little
Subaru
crown
and push him away, telling him
eyes in the
times
same
that he's an
symbol is
insect,
in her little tie.
But that's when we get
Crap
down
like
to the
that is
third
just
layer,
amazing.
how she really feels. Beatrice spends all day locked up in a library, only allowing others to see her when she feels like it. And she's happy with that on the surface, but deep down she's lonely. And while it bothers her that Subaru keeps pushing obliviously through all her defenses and entering her room without permission, part of her kind of appreciates having him around, and also that he seems to really like her despite her abrasive demeanor. So
this is a lot of character stuff, which I like. I like character stuff. But this is not proving that this is a masterpiece, because there's so many flaws outside of the character stuff that need to be addressed. It's between episodes, like, what is it, 15 to 17? It's just him dying and trying to figure out exactly how to get past this situation. It gets repetitive. Those 3 are a slog. The end of 13 is terrible. All of 18 is terrible. The 3 whale episodes are just meandering. And then it just gets into this ending that is just like, okay, I guess.
It's not okay, I guess. Because Amelia is trying to justify the way Subaru acted and then going, yes, okay, Subaru, thank you.
I meant the ending with, the ending fight with, Brain Man.
Oh, okay.
That was I guess, with the whole body swapping and...
Okay. I thought you meant the final episode.
No, that is bad. Because I just wanted, what I wanted was her to just slap him and walk away.
And then, like, season 2 coming up.
Come back to see where this goes.
But everybody forgives him and loves him again after he was a complete hunk of garbage.
He doesn't face consequences. He grovels to old girl and she's just like, this is terrible. You shouldn't be doing this. Get the out of here. And he never faces the consequences of that. She goes back because he dies and there's nothing made of it. He just knows not to do that again.
I would have liked to have seen that because it's clear she likes being like that type of dominant person, but she saw something more in him or potentially more in him. And it's just like, oh no, you're just the same as everybody else. Get the out.
Would have liked to see more of that, but no, we don't get the princess stuff.
So while she's very Beatrice about it, she ends up helping him a lot and being really nice in her own not very nice way. They've got a playful comedic dynamic with each other, and her presence makes scenes where Subaru would otherwise just be pacing in circles thinking to himself a lot more fun and interesting than they have any right to be. That said, Subaru also has pretty great comedic chemistry with the Lord of the House.
Comedic chemistry. Does that make him a good character? He has great comedic chemistry with Subaru. What about outside of Subaru? Does he still have that same comedic chemistry with other people? We don't know because we don't see too much of it outside of that. But even if he does that make him a good character?
Oswald doesn't get much screen time, but he steals almost every scene he's in. He's a charismatic, eccentric, hedonistic, rich dude with a strong personal brand and an anarchic sense of humor. He's savvy enough to respect the formalities of his class, but not really bound by them. And he seems to take a shine to Subaru specifically because the young man is so cavalier and open with him, despite the obvious, to him, differences in their social standing. Roswaal is a hoot. He has great comedic moments with basically
he's a
everyone,
funny comedy character.
but he's also very serious when he needs to be, and a nigh unparalleled badass when it comes to combat. I mean,
he's a super funny, strong person. It sounds like he's Hisoka.
He's serious. We see you've not given an example of that. I mean, if we did, yes, he's serious. 100% of the people on the planet Earth are serious. Not a character trait that can be lauded. He's really good at combat. We see that, once and a half, twice? Again, not a personality trait. So he's funny, he's serious, what else did he say? He said something about, he's cavalier enough to do something or other.
Do I need to go back?
No. But yeah, again, and he has good comedic stuff with Subaru, which he does, but again, not a good character because we don't see enough of him.
People around Subaru are considerably more competent than he is, whether he notices it or not, but Roswaal in particular is scary. He needs all of one word to turn a whole forest into the Amazon right now. Still. And considering that he's very clearly operating on his own shady agenda, that might be a problem for Subaru later. Which is another part of what makes ReZero's characters great. They don't just...
Shady agenda, we don't see any of that. We just get hints of it, so we don't know exactly what's going on. And, did they ever say where he was during the White Whale thing?
No.
Oh, well, he could have helped. He really could have helped. Since he
was off doing things. He got Shino'd. He too strong.
He's too strong, so just peace out. We can't handle this dude. He breaks the story, so you not in the story right now. Okay, that's great. Same thing with Brain Man. He would have been really good there. So introduce this super strong dude, make it enough of a point for you to bring it up in the video, but then don't have him do anything important other than these two. One thing really saving them from the forest, and then sort of fighting with Beatrice.
Show up to be interesting once and then disappear forever. They have clear potential to develop in interesting ways.
The potential, this is again a Hunter x Hunter thing. The potential for something interesting is there, and so we should enjoy what we have now that's incomplete and not as interesting, because it could potentially become such.
That's not enough.
I don't want that. See, this is something different from dude, we bring up One Piece so much. This is something different from One Piece, where Oda has introduced things and he's paid off so many things that if he introduces something, I can go, I'm fine with not getting everything right now, or getting as much as I would like right now, because I know he will pay it off, because he has proven time and time again that he will pay it off. Just going, the potential for something interesting is there. The potential, dude, pizza blended shake has the potential to be interesting, but it probably tastes like
an apple seed has the potential to grow up into a tree. Are we praising that apple seed? No, give me
Far
something
off.
that can be praised.
give me my apple.
We have apples. Don't slide over an apple seed just going, yeah, here you
But
go.
the potential apple is in there.
No.
Yes, okay, but I want a bite of an apple. I
we
don't need the whole apple. Give me a slice of an apple.
You've shown me that you have apples back there, and you're not giving me the apples. You're giving me the potential of an apple. Why not just give me the apple?
Why not give me a slice of the apple?
Ways far off in the future. And it's really fun to speculate about what they
Speculation.
Nope, I'm not trying to speculate. I'm
Where's
trying
my
to get
answer?
a story.
Where's my
I'm
answer,
trying to
bruh?
get a complete story. I'm trying to get a full fleshed out character. And if it's not a full fleshed out character, give me something like the head of the mansion, where it's just like he's funny, he got his own thing going on, not a good character, but a fine character, a memorable character.
Don't semi-flash out somebody, don't quasi-flash out somebody, and then go, but the future, they could become even more. No, just make them what they are, just give them their quirks, and then in the future, if you want to flesh them out fully, go ahead. That, in Old Night Dude, full, complete fleshing out story.
Done.
In this 26 episodes.
But Beatrice? Basically nothing.
Don't give me nothing. Just give me nothing. Give me who they are, what they do, and give me nothing instead of giving me a little bit and then making me wait 7 years for the next thing for potentially.
Or maybe.
Because I may never get it.
We don't even know if they get a full fleshed out backstory sort of thing.
Might legit never get it.
might do in different scenarios. I think that's why this franchise
Let's
has
go
been
back. I know for a fact he did not just say we're wondering about what they will do in potential scenarios, and that's what makes this good. I know he didn't just say that.
interesting ways far off in the future. And it's really fun to speculate about what they might do in different scenarios. I think that's why this franchise has been able to support.
This is very much like when the Star Wars The Force Awakens teaser came out, and it was just like, oh, it's a big desert planet. Let's speculate everything that's going to go on. Oh, there's Stormtrooper. Let's speculate everything that's going to go on. You're basically speculating with almost no foundation, and you're trying to build a house on it. A theory house.
I can speculate what happens if Luffy and Chopper go into a gingerbread house, but they have
You don't need to. They did at Big Mom's.
They did. Holy crap! I can't even. A pizza house. Get whatever. But we have stuff other than that. Oh, I wonder what these characters would do in this situation. We have them being full fleshed out good characters on their own, but we also have that. Oh, I wonder what would happen if Chopper met Baby Five. We also have that.
You're speculating about possible scenarios. What type of nonsense is that? You're like, this is the potential story in my head, and I'm speculating of where they're gonna go, and it's fun to do so, and that's why people love it. You can do that about literally anything. Because you don't have a real foundation of which to speculate that thing on. You're just going, okay, we had this. Okay, so Amelia and Subaru, what's gonna happen with them? Well, this is what I think, and blah, 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 blah. Based on what? Just what I think and feel. That's what you're giving me. Any series can be that. Any series can do that.
And there are certain series that do that. There are certain, and Sket Dance, it's almost 300 chapters, 260 something, 270 something. And it's all just sitting around helping people. There are certain times where it's just like you get this nice 10 chapter arc where it's just like we gotta help this person and there's a bigger issue. Sometimes it's just a one or two chapter funny, super funny arc. But there are characters that just comes and goes. Huge cast of characters. There are certain times where they just go, okay, these two characters and these two characters. They're in a room, they're having funny jokes, done. And I'm just going, I've always wondered how these two characters would interact, and you're giving it to me. Thank you. But here, we just got I wonder how they're going to act in this situation.
So many.
How would the head of the mansion go up against the well? Well, we can only speculate because for some reason we just not allowed to have that.
And short stories. Speaking of spin-offs, the show explores these characters in even greater depth through the ReZero Break Time shorts. These 2-minute comedic interludes, which quite clearly laid some of the groundwork for Isekai Quartet, show additional conversations that happened off-camera in their corresponding episodes. Those conversations actually reveal a surprising amount about the supporting casts.
No. That's really, really bad.
Give it to me in a series.
Why not have it in the series? If it's revealing a surprising amount about the supporting cast, maybe it's good enough to be put out there, to be animated, to be voiced, but it's not good enough to be in the actual episode? Why not?
How about instead of 22 minutes of Rim and Subaru having a conversation, we cut that down to like 12, and you spend the other 10 fleshing out some other people.
This is an anti-argument. This hurts the case. I don't want to see supplemental material that helps other characters. No. Put it in the show. I want to know more about the Night Dude. Oh, I got to go over here to do it. No. Put it in the show.
Some of them are modified versions of cut content from the light novels, and they also deliver a lot of exposition about ReZero's world. Which, if
maybe we need or would like to know about that?
No.
I guess not.
Nope. We don't need none of that.
I guess not.
Is one of the coolest, most thoroughly realized fantasy worlds in anime.
Oh. You know what? Maybe it is. There's not a lot of great fantasy worlds out there.
Yeah, he put the word fantasy world in there. I'm just like, I don't know too much about the fantasy world aspect of these sorts of things, but it's fine, I guess. There's a bunch of beast people, and it's sort of like, yeah, there's beast people, whatever.
Is one of the coolest, most thoroughly realized fantasy worlds in anime. Those shorts touch on a lot of interesting things, but to know the full story, you really need to read all of the light novels, spin-offs included, which I know is a lot.
Spin-offs included to get all of the story of this thing to make it good.
Yeah, no, I don't care now.
No, absolutely not. I'm not going up the street and around the corner in order to go next door. That's ridiculous.
Wow, you got more of the landscape.
No, it should be a self-contained thing or not. If it needed to be 56 episodes, have it be 56 episodes. Put as much as you can into it to make it as good as it possibly can. Now we just got all these lingering issues, no answers, and it's just like, well, go off elsewhere in order. And plus, you said that it was cut content from the novels. So, in order to get the full story, we can't even just watch the 26 episodes and you just go, okay, episode 27, where would that correlate in this book? We can't even pick up that book because we got to read all of it because there's bits of world and character stuff strewn throughout. So we got to watch 26 episodes, or maybe not, maybe just go straight to the light novels. But if we're doing everything, we're going, hey, I love ReZero. I want more of this stuff. So we got 26 episodes, and then we got to go all throughout 16, 17, 18, maybe not translated light novels? In order to get the full story, in order to fully appreciate this? No, absolutely not. No. This 26 episodes is not a masterpiece because there's too many problems. And now you're just going, well, the problem gets solved over here. Things let out over here. I ain't trying to hear that. I'm trying to hear 26 episodes.
Kind of thing. It is so worth it. You might remember in my favorites of the decade video that I said ReZero has a great hard magic system. Well, that was a bit of an oversimplification. It actually has 3. Elemental magic, witch authorities, and divine protection that operate on different principles and interact with each other in interesting ways. There's also a huge timeline full of very interesting events, both political and magical, that explains basically everything about the present state of this world, from where the Maw-Beasts came from to how a dragon got involved in running a country.
Okay, but I don't know this because I just
Yeah.
watched the anime.
Absolutely not. And also the whole magic system. You just went, yeah, it's very intricate, and there's three kinds. Subaru's main magical power, we've seen it, once and a half, twice, maybe? And then it's never brought up again. That's a problem. So you're just bringing up concepts and stuff, and then just dropping them, and then just going, here comes season 2, here comes volume 15. Read about it there.
How come there's so much racism everywhere all the time? If you like lore, ReZero has so much lore. Politics, religion, wars, economics,
It has a lot of lore because it has a lot of crap. It has a lot of crap. It has a lot of light novels and all this other cut content and all this crap. But
Why is there racism? I guess because there's racism because they're never really explored in the show. The princess ceremony, I guess we just not learning about that because guess what? Once that happens, it's brought up and then it's just we never hear about it again except for Emily studying and crap.
Amelia.
That's it. I don't need to hear about things that is not doing. What is it doing? It's not showing me anything that leads to anything else. Well, that's too broad of a thing. The things that are dropped are very noticeably dropped. Or not brought up until season 2 volumes or whatever.
Gatsky has covered it all in as much detail as he's devoted to his characters. And it's not just there to be flavor text. ReZero's individual volumes make for compelling psychological thrillers, but on a macro scale, the grand overarching story that this series is telling is a fundamentally sociological one, driven by the forces of history and competing ideologies. Most isekai send their heroes off on a morally brain-dead, by-the-numbers, black-and-white quest to beat the Demon King and save the world. ReZero tosses Subaru right into the middle of an incredibly volatile political clusterfuck where 5 mostly well-intentioned but ideologically incompatible leaders and their factions, plus a secret evil cult, are all competing to fill a power vacuum so that they can apply their own solutions to complicated societal problems.
And where does that go?
Nowhere.
Nowhere.
Really have no clear right answer. Worst Girl Priscilla is a
Piss off! How dare!
Okay, I think he means that she's meant to be worst girl.
No!
And so she is
No!
worst girl. This is the only thing I can think of.
She's
'cause
great!
She's f***ing amazing. This is the only thing I can think of.
She has a lot more personality than the freaking Winter one. And Sword Girl is just Sword Girl. She's great! Get that bullcrap out of here!